You might be thinking about studying architecture, or you might be already enrolled into an architecture course, you might be starting soon, or you might just be an architecture student wanting some advice. I want to share with you 10 things to know before starting architecture school that I wish I had known. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So number one is that architecture isn't just designing buildings. A lot of students go into architecture school thinking that it's going to be creating a lot of cool designs and buildings and they're going to be doing a lot of drawing, but architecture is a mix of so many different skills, and so you need a mix of skills to be successful, or you need a willingness and an open mind to learn new things and learn new skills and not get stuck on old ways. Number two is that architecture is difficult. A lot of people look at architecture and they think, oh, there's no exams and there's no tests, this must be pretty easy. But just because there are no exams, it doesn't mean that it is easy. In fact, architecture can be quite very difficult. Architecture is very much a profession involving a lot of problem solving and deep thinking. It's not necessarily an easy course to study, but if you're up for the challenge, it can be extremely rewarding. Number three is that it's a long road ahead. Get ready for a long journey because you don't stop learning. And I'm not just talking about in architecture school being 5 to 7 years of formal education. I mean, get ready to learn every single day for the rest of your life. Architects, or good architects, never stop learning. Something my dad always tells me is to improve in any little way every single day. Doing so, you're becoming a better person and you're improving yourself a little bit every single day. So get ready for a long degree followed by a long profession of learning and experimenting with new things. And leading into the next point, number four, is that there's no set in stone way of doing things. Architecture is subjective. In fact, those students who are most successful in architecture school are the ones that step outside their comfort zone, step away from what everyone else is doing, and experiment with new things. They experiment with new ways of doing things and new ideas because architecture is subjective. Number five is that those who study architecture outside of their formal education, they learn outside of their university degree, they're the ones who end up doing best. Architecture school and any university degree or classroom anywhere are made to teach generalized information for the masses. You know, with a class of 100 plus students, you're not going to be getting a real specialized one-on-one individual teaching. And so if you want to gain specialized skills and learn something difficult that others aren't learning, you need to practice architecture outside of your university degree. And this may be in the form of watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts like you're doing right now, or perhaps taking on a Photoshop course or a SketchUp course, or it could be working inside a firm, 1 or 2 days a week. Mentorship is really helpful as an architecture student, and it's something I definitely encourage you to think about. And so the idea here is that you need to push yourself to better yourself in ways that others aren't. That's how you create opportunities for yourself and become a better person. Number six is to not get discouraged by other people's experiences of architecture school. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is filled with architecture memes and comments from other students complaining how they don't get any sleep, don't have any money, they haven't learned anything. But don't let other people's experiences discourage you from studying architecture. If you stick to your own guns and you stay in your own lane and you focus on bettering yourself in every single way, every single day, you'll find yourself getting better and better, and other people's experiences won't bother you. They don't influence the way you learn in any way, so it's not worth looking at what other people are doing. It's like if you're trying to build the biggest tower in your city, you don't have to pull everyone else's down. Rather, you just have to build the biggest tower in your city. What I'm trying to say is don't let everyone else's experiences and what other people are doing influence the way you study architecture or influence you away from studying architecture. Number seven is the more time you spend on a project, the better it's going to be. If you were to put students' grades onto a chart against how much time they spent on their classes, you'd see a direct correlation between how much time they spent on their project and the grades they got. Those who spent less time on their projects would have had a lower grade, and those that spent more time on their projects would have had the higher grades. And so you need to be able to manage your time and not leave everything for the last minute, which is something that architecture students or students in general tend to do. And again, this is something you'll learn with experience. Number eight is that you have to be a good listener. Architecture is very much about listening. If you don't listen, you can't design to the client's brief. You can't work with engineers, surveyors, builders, and any other contractors. You can't make the changes your teachers are suggesting. And if you're a good listener, you'll go very far in anything you do. Number nine is that you can't be in it for the money. And I actually just made a video on this, so if you want to check that out, that link is above. But if you're going into architecture for the money, you're gonna fail. If you're going into architecture because it's something you love and something you're passionate about, you'll it'll go far and you'll end up making a lot of money as an indirect result. So number 10, the final thing to know as an architecture student is to just say yes. There's nothing stopping you from doing a semester and then dropping out. You have plenty of time to try architecture. If you're 17 years old or you're 47 years old, you're not even halfway through your life. Don't think that by spending 6 months at university, you're going to be wasting your life away, and you need to know what you want to do in the next 6 months. Otherwise, you're going to be falling behind from everyone else. This kind of just aligns with that idea of staying in your own lane. You've got plenty of time. Just because everyone else thinks they have to have their life figured out at the age of 18, it doesn't mean that you do. Just because you've got friends who are 25 years old and they've got kids and a family now and you think that they're successful, it doesn't mean that you have to be either. If you spend 6 months at architecture school and you find that you don't like it, it's an experience nonetheless. It's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. If you think you enjoy architecture, give it a go and just say yes. Having a give it a go mentality is something that will take you very far in life, not just in architecture school. So it's definitely worth adopting this mindset. Thank you guys so much for listening to me talk. If you're currently studying architecture, I'd love to know what you think is something that's important to know as an architecture student. Please do leave a comment down below. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, press that button down below. And if you want to continue to learn, check out one of my other videos to the side here, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys.